I had no pulse during the time they were performing CPR on me. My soul left my body and it traveled to heaven. It went through a long, dark, speeding tunnel. It seemed to go on for miles and miles. And I somehow knew that my soul separated from my body and it was traveling through this long, speeding tunnel. And it opened up into the brightest light. My three guardian angels were waiting for me in the light, and they told me what happened to me at the dentist. And they said they were sent to wait for me in the light. They told me that I was safe with them in heaven. And they gave me the choice of staying in heaven or returning to my life with an important purpose. They really wanted me to stay with them in heaven because they said I would have so much greater happiness in heaven, eternal peace and happiness and bliss in heaven than if I returned to my life. They said if I just chose to come back to my life, though, that they would be sending me back with an important purpose. And they said in exchange for being allowed to come back to my life that it would be challenging. And I just kept saying, I have to go back. My mom really needs me. My mom really needs me, because I was my mom's only daughter. I have two older brothers, but she always wanted a girl. So she kept going until she finally had me. So my guardian angel said, they said, of course, your mother will be very hurt, but in time, she'll be okay in time. They said, before you make your final decision, there's something we want to show you. And all of a sudden, I was seeing my funeral, what it would be like had I chose to stay in heaven. And everybody was at my funeral, my family, my friends, teachers from school, my neighbors. Everybody was sad, but the only one who was inconsolable was my mother. And she was throwing herself on top of my casket. It was a closed casket, and she kept screaming, crying, Alyssa, Alyssa, don't leave me. I love you. Come back to me, my baby. And I couldn't bear to see my mother like that. So I said to my guardian angel, see, I have to go back. My mom really needs me. And then there was this big white door right in front of me. And my guardian angel said, if you pass through this door, then there's no turning back. Then you have to stay here. They said, you will be so amazed at who is behind this door and so much more of glorious heaven. So every time that they promised me eternal peace and happiness in heaven, I would say, okay, I think I'll stay. And I would, inch to the door. But then I would see my mom flinging herself on top of my casket again, screaming, crying, come back to me, Alyssa, don't leave me. And then I would move inch away from the door, So I was crying and I said, I don't know what to do. And then all of a sudden I hear footsteps and I see God is he walks right in front of me. I'm face to face, standing right before God in heaven. And I mean, I was just in complete awe of him. And he said to me, what's the matter, my child? Why are you crying? Why are you so upset? And I said, I have to go back. My mom really needs me. And as soon as I said that, God said, I understand. And he turned to my guardian angels and he said, send her back immediately. And then he said to me, but I'm sending you back with a very important purpose. He said that I would not remember everything that I was told in heaven and what my full purpose is until the time is right. He said, because you're much too young now to handle such a big responsibility, which I had to agree at only 14 years old, it would have been just too much of a responsibility for me to know that I'm God's messenger sent back, to try and make heaven a place on earth. So I said I understood. And God showed me something else that I will save for everyone to read in my book. And I said to my guardian angels, I hope you're not upset with me for choosing to come back to my life, you know, and not staying with them. So they laughed and they said, no, of course not. They said, we're going to be watching over you your whole life. And they said, and when you're lonely, you're going to feel something stroking your hair. And they said, that's going to be us comforting you. So I thanked them and I hugged God and my guardian angels. And then my soul went back through that long, dark, speeding tunnel. And before my soul was back in my body again, I heard everything that was going on. And I saw it at the dental, you know, clinic. The dentist was frantic. The hygienist who was doing CPR on me, and I felt the three thrusts on my chest and the breaths in my mouth. And the hygienist said to the dentist, there's still no pulse. And the dentist was crying and he was yelling, we can't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. We have to bring her back. She's only 14 years old. Don't give up. And he was crying. He said, this never happened before. You know, he was just so hysterical. I mean, he didn't want to be responsible for, you know, killing a teenager, even if it was an accident. So a couple seconds later, I heard the hygienist say, there's a pulse now. We have her back. And the dentist said, thank God. And I laughed to myself and I said, I did just thank God, you know, literally. I came face to face with God. In heaven, God was in human form.